Some works of fiction are so impactful that they define a generation and influence the future generations. This year, From Software, who are known for their amazing games such as Dark Souls, Sekiro, and Bloodborne, released a fantasy epic game called Elden Ring, which has sold 17.5 million copies in just 1 year. There are many things that led to Elden Ring's success, such as the narrative being penned by Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin, and the open world in the game being filled with mysteries to discover. However, an underrated aspect of this game is how a lot of its lore and aesthetic is inspired by the dark fantasy manga Berserk, written by the late and great Kentaro Miura. Today I want to honor this great man's life and also talk about Berserk's influence in pop culture. We are talking about the great Kentaro Miura. Kentaro Miura was born on July 11th, 1966 in Chiba Prefecture to obviously two parents whose names are actually unknown. In fact, one thing about Miura was that much of his life is shrouded in mystery. However, over the years, fans have been able to piece somewhat of a story together. Miura was an art prodigy and actually managed to create a manga at the young age of 10 for his school's publication. He impressively published over 40 volumes for his peers to enjoy while he was in middle school. From middle school to high school, his skills would steadily improve, and also during his high school years, he would meet his best friend named Koji Mori, who would also become a well-respected mangaka with works such as Holy Land, which even got a live-action movie adaptation. The two co-created a manga together that was shot down by the magazines, but nonetheless, the two's relationship grew quite a bit over the decades. Shortly after Miura graduated, he started working as an assistant for famed mangaka Joji Morikawa, who created the best-selling manga Hajime no Ippo. However, the two didn't work together for too long because Morikawa recognized that Miura was a prodigy and there was really nothing else that he could teach him. That's right, Miura's art was so good that he was fired and told to make his own works. And even at that point, Miura already had drawn a large warrior wielding a humongous sword, which would be the building blocks of Berserk. Miura applied to an art college and was granted admission based off of a manga he made titled Futabi, which translates to Once More. The project landed him a newcomer award with Shonen Jump magazine, and he even had a small manga run with another magazine called Fresh for a manga titled NOA. At this point, Miura already had his feet wet, but was at the point of his career where he needed a series that could change his life. In 1988, Miura made the Berserk prototype, which was a 48-page manga starring a lone warrior named Guts with his elf companion named Puck. The prototype got him 7th place in a manga competition, and shortly after, he finally got his big break when serialization of Berserk started with Young Animal magazine in 1989. The Berserk manga did pretty well sales-wise for the next 8 years, but truly got more exposure when it got an anime adaptation in 1997. The anime had 25 episodes and developed a cult fan base over the years. While it hasn't aged gracefully, a lot of people love this adaptation. It's one of the main reasons Berserk got so big. Miura would continue writing Berserk for pretty much his whole life up until he tragically died on May 6, 2021. His death left a huge impact across the anime and manga community, and Berserk's sales have been skyrocketing ever since. Even still, before his untimely death, Berserk had sold over 40 million copies in 2018, making it one of the best-selling mangas of all time. While Miura is no longer here, his manga has inspired millions and has helped people continue to push forward even in life's hardest moments. And thankfully, the serialization of his manga is still going since his best friend, Koji Mori, who I mentioned earlier, is making sure that his work reaches completion. Miura left his final notes for the story to Mori, and I truly believe that he will do it as much justice as he can for his late friend. Rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. Your work will never be forgotten.